2023 was quite a year to remember, crossing borders once again after 3 years of zero COVID, starting out in February between Mainland China and Hong Kong, and in September to further destinations, certainly way beyond, into Laos. Certainly a year to look back upon. For 2023, I could count a grand total of at least 22,672 kilometers across 125 trips. Those, by the way, were exclusively done by national or regional rail, which meant that those operated by city metro or tram operators, or the metro or tram wings or operations of larger operators such as the MTR, don't count. Here's how the miles are counted. I take note of both fare-based miles as in how much you're charged by the ticket fare, as well as geographical miles as per B-router, which I use for all countries, and then I take the average of these two figures. Inside mainland China, I did the lion's share of travels, 21,832 kilometers across 122 journeys, all the way from Qiqihar in northeastern China to Mohan on the border with Laos. Yes, indeed, Laos proved to be the first real international getaway I did by rail. 2 journeys starting from Laos and 814 kilometers in the country. The Hong Kong Special Administrative Region counted 1 outbound journey and 25 kilometers in its territory. I've not been outside of Asia since 2018, so I'd like to head back to Europe and to newer still territories. The journey started in January 2023 with a ride on the all-new Beijing to Tangshan Intercity Railway. I crossed a border by rail for the first time since 2019 in February, with a 2-leg journey from Hong Kong West Kowloon to Beijing West. In March then, I made 2 super long distance journeys. One of them went to Luoyang and Xi'an, where I finally got to take a snap at Xi'an West Station, formerly known as Ipangong. I wanted to visit the station when its name started with the letter E, but sometimes it didn't quite work that way. The other journey took me all the way to Qiqihar in northern Heilongjiang. For now, it's as far north as high-speed trains go in the country, although a link even further north is being built as we speak. Due to a lot of work post-COVID, post-lockdown, I mostly remained in northern China for much of the spring and early summer, although I was always on the move checking out new lines in the making. The next long-distance trip involved Hangzhou in eastern China, where I gave Rail English sessions just in time for the Asian Games. I also had a look at the amazing new Hangzhou West railway station. In August, apart from Hangzhou, I also went to Shandong in eastern China and to the stations of Gangcheng and Laiwu North. September was by far the most international month, including journeys inside Yunnan and of course a journey on the China to Laos Railway all the way to Vientiane. I also gave Luang Prabang in Laos as well as Sipsongpana and Pua, 2 stations inside China, a good look. I probably wouldn't have chosen to do my 2024 New Year's clip from Guan if the extent of how the station was totally redone shocked, amazed and impressed me. My first trip there in October 2023 was my first ever, probably the most photographed station until that time, where I had never travelled by rail. In December 2023, I joined the very first train on the Tianjin West to Daxing Airport Intercity Railway, as well as got my first ever railway ticket registered to my name in Chinese characters thanks to reform by the Chinese immigration authorities regarding Chinese green cards. I missed the last train I was booked onto for that year, but by now, China's railway ticketing app had become so advanced that I could simply rebook right by the ticket and ID check gate and get on with my journeys. The 125 journeys across the year had an average mileage per journey of 181 kilometers, roughly the same distance between Zurich and Neuchâtel in Switzerland. I'd taken cross-border trains starting in all jurisdictions I visited, and as for the world's fastest train, I've been on it 33 times throughout 2023. And that's 2023 with David Feng's rail travels. Here's looking forward to a much more exciting 2024.